One of the most important things about painting a monster in a landscape is figuring out where it goes. There it is. All right. So I'm trying to put this monster here back in front of that very, very distant mountain in the back, right? But now behind these other ones. And we don't want it too big. So he's smaller than these mountains. She's smaller. I think what we're dealing with here is a amphibian, sort of like one of them salamanders we got that come out of the aquifer, or axolotl, I suppose. But this one's a real big one. Maybe it's been growing in a lake. So first off, we're just going to lay in a little bit of color, just a bit of pink to give us a shape. It's better to go under at the beginning because you can always go back and add in the edges later. So it's all right just to get in those basic shapes. All right, now I know I want it behind this mountain, so we're putting that tail coming up over the ridge there, right? So we can kind of see, all right, that mountain's in front of our monster, and that puts our monster where we need it to be inside the painting. We want these beasts to fit right into these landscapes, right? So you got to find where to do it. Now I'm using a little bit of magic here, just a little bit of black in front, kind of puts that tail where we need it to go. Okay, now here's the hard part, doing the eyes. So I'm starting off with just some big round orbs. This is a creature, it can see in the dark, so it's got some real big eyes. So first off, I'm just putting in those big round circles, and then we're going to come in and put in a little bit of eyebrow to give it a little bit of shape. And this is where you can get some feeling into your monster by using those eyebrows. Is your monster angry? Is your monster sad? Is your monster excited? Those eyebrows is where you're going to do it. And by having those big round balls to work with for their eyeballs, you're able to just kind of take that away, okay? So now I'm coming in close on these fingertips here, adding just a little bit of detail. And on my palette, I just have a whole bunch of pink I mixed up, a little bit of black, a little bit of white, so I can use those as I see fit. So I'm coming in and putting a little drop of eye here, and that's just to kind of give us an idea of where this feature is going to be. I think I got the mouth in the right spot, but if you don't quite like the way you do it, that's all right. You can come in and scratch it out. You can see I did a little bit of work on that mouth, and it's still not quite working. But just cover it up with some pink. We're not trying to make a mouth. We're trying to make the impression of a mouth, right? We're trying to make something that when your eye sees it, your eye goes, oh, I get it. So we're just putting in all these different layers. Same with the tail. I'm imagining that Sosoro here, I think that's what we're going to call her, she's, maybe her skin's not real thick. Maybe we can see some kind of veins and muscles through. She's a little translucent. So we're putting all that in here just to kind of give us an impression. Give us an impression of a living organism, right? So by using these, pay attention, pay attention to the way your muscles move or the way you see veins through your wrist, and you can use all those things. Now, when I think of this creature, I mostly think of its huge gills it's using, and it's using these gills to breathe from the clouds and get oxygen out of the air. So they're big old things, but to really make it work, I'm putting them behind that mountain, see? So if it's behind that mountain, now our brain automatically is just going to go, oh, okay, that's where they are. She's tucked in back there. She's coming over this ridge. I'm seeing these mountains as Colorado mountains, and maybe there's a fire over here. That's why the sky's this crazy orange color, but here comes Sosoro bringing the storm with her. She likes that moisture. She doesn't like the dry heat, so she's coming up over this ridge, and she's not happy with what she sees. We're just putting in her gills, just making them all branch all kinds of different ways. I'm coming back in here with a little bit of red. It's more red than it is pink, just to give them a little bit of that 3D texture. Okay, you can see I did some more there. And then we have those gills in front of the tail, which maybe that takes away from the definition of the tail, but that's all right. We're just trying to get an impression here of what we can see. Now with some highlights coming from our monster's neck out past the tail, just so we know, okay, this is what's happening here. We're seeing some of these branching appendages, right? And that gives us a little idea of a monster anyway. Now it's just a matter of coming in with the foreground. So first we want to cover up the foothills of those trees and really make sure we cover up the waist of our monster so we see that it's back there in the picture. And look, just like that. Now that creature has definitely not hit this forest yet. We can see that it's well back there, which is where we want it to be. Now I love this red, and I'm going to use this red for some water. So that means I need a dark shoreline coming in, and then once we get that dark in, then we can get a little bit of light there. And that's where that water's splashing. I'm not sure yet how much of this I really want to use, so I'm just going all the way across. And I know we can come in here later to push our subject further and further back. And maybe Sosoro needs some nose, some nostrils. I don't know. Who's to say? All right. So now I'm going for some fields of wheat is what I'm thinking. Maybe we're at an old farm. So I'm just coming in and layering in bits of yellow, trying to get these distinct layers with a top and then kind of fading out down below like grass coming up. And this is a fun technique, just tapping it all in. I'm by no means an expert on this, but it was fun to kind of figure out all these different ways to do it. Tried to put in a little bit of shoreline, as you can see, but not super happy with it. So it means I can just cover it up. It's that simple. Some fun thing about painting like this is there's no undo, there's no, Control Z or any of that. You just got to come in and try it. So here, let's try to put in a little cabin. Can we kind of scratch it out, give it those hard edges that we're going to need for a structure made of wood? And maybe we can, maybe we can't. Maybe we just got to scratch all that out. Let's come in here instead and we'll just keep it simple. Put in some more of this wheat here. Just these rolling hills, right? Just working in rows and trying to get them all in there. And now I'm not happy with that back there either, so we just cover it up. It's as simple as that. And there we go. If we focus on the shape of the land, we can kind of see how it all flows together a little bit more. Now, isn't that nice? Those two ridges put that creature way back there. Now, by putting a little bit of a fence, as we see it goes over that ridge, gets smaller as it goes in the distance, a little bit of barbed wire on there, it really creates that illusion of depth. Just got to make these rails a little bit more detail. I want thicker ones in the front, and they get thinner and smaller as we go back. And that those things repeated through your paintings is what's going to give it depth. So again, here working down here, let's just put a boulder down here, and there's another one back there. It's smaller. That's key because it's farther away. And maybe this one's kind of in between the two, so it's a little bit bigger than that one in the back. It looks a little bigger. And these, I'm using the same colors I'm using for the mountains. Here we're putting in some grass, and then let's do another little fence. And to accentuate this ridge, we made sure that last pole is just sticking out from it, right? Make it a little bit bigger. Oh, got a little too big on me. That's fine. We're just gonna scratch it into a little gate. Maybe there's a little gate. You can go swimming down here. And now here's our finished painting. So we start here in these fields, these golden fall fields, and we can see the barbed wire fences reaching on back. In the distance past this river reflecting the red of the sun, we see Sosoro climbing through. I'm really happy with how this painting came out. I love the color and I love the scale of it. Hope you did too. Remember, our world is what we make it.